time to get started here in the meeting. This is a call meeting to discuss future LED lighting for the city of Livingston with UCMC. And this is a call meeting, so this is a voting meeting, and no other business will be or can be discussed during this particular meeting. So we will talk lighting with UCMC. We will be able to vote or not vote, completely up to the council. And as you're aware, we do have a new sound system, so we ask each person that comes to the microphone tonight to press their button and speak into the microphone, please. And any councilman that has questions or concerns that would like to discuss it, we ask you to push the button as well, okay? So we call the meeting to order, and with us today we have Mr. Jimmy Gregory from Upper Cumberland Electric Membership Corporation, and also the district manager, Mr. Ben Winningham. Welcome. And we was given a task to look at the lighting system in the pilot program that Mr. Winningham selected in areas of Highway 111, Cookville Highway, around the Huddle House area, traveling, I guess that'd be southbound on 111, and also on Hillcrest and Woodland Streets. And each one of them had different wattage, or different LEDs, I guess I should say. And it went from anywhere from 115 to 150 and 60, 150, I haven't said that. I think that's it, according to my notes. So has each council had an opportunity to take a look at the lighting and
yes.
Open discussion? Anyone want to discuss it?
I'm happy to comment about it.
Yes, please.
I have driven around to all the different locations in town that we have the test lights put up. And I was explaining to the mayor, it was hard for me to determine much difference in the ones coming into town near the Huddle House. They all look so similar to each other, I couldn't tell them apart. So I'm not quite sure that I can render an opinion on that one. When you get up into the Henson Hills neighborhood, the ones going up Hillcrest Drive, I felt like, it was my opinion that they had cast more light, I guess, outward, which is kind of what we had talked about looking for, or trying to maximize. And so, you know, those are just the ones that at night I felt like, you know, served the community best. But the ones on Woodland, I mean, I think they all look great, honestly. And you know, there's such little difference between them. It's hard to tell the difference, in my opinion. That's all I have to say.
With Mr. Gregory or Mr. Winningham, either one, with, like Kelly said, I've driven those as well, but with such little difference from our layman's eyes on them, is there a huge difference cost savings wise in those that would help make that determination, or are they all roughly the same too? It's just a matter of aesthetics. Is that a fair question?
Yeah.
If you would please press your little button there.
That good?
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you. Well, yes, there's a difference in the cost. I worked up spreadsheets I showed at the last meeting were based on a variety of different scenarios. The project we did there in Carthage predominantly installed a 115 watt Cobra head type fixture. We did install where there were existing 200 watt and 100 watt NEMA head, it's the round we did replace them with 60-watt fixtures. And then there's a couple of areas we use 150s. You got a little different situation here. Number one, you got a lot more lights. You got a lot more different scenarios that those lights are used. Carthage is smaller. Predominantly, all those lights were Cobra head hanging out straight out over the street. You've got this bypass project here is unique in itself. Those are either 250 watt or 400 watt roadway type lights, and TDOT could very well get involved in that replacement.
Which ones are the 250 or the 400s? All of them?
The bypass, depending on the setback from the road, depending on that kind of rules, whether it's a 250 or a 400 watt. TDOT spec that out. They spec out the lumens. We had to do a lighting study and provide a light that would provide the lumens they needed on the road there back in 2001 or 2. So we're already working with them, and they've kind of reversed course just a little. I think we can work through it. We replace them with whatever you want. New Light, Acuity is a manufacturer of the lights company that we deal with, and Acuity is coming out with a brand new light that they had to put back on the drawing board, re-engineer it, and that light's supposed to be out by the end of the week. But the study that I gave y'all is based on what I think cost-wise is worst-case scenario. In other words, anything that happens, that your savings should go up from that spreadsheet that I presented. I took the price increase, which we think now could be a price decrease. We're not sure. And base it on our maintenance and our installation cost, cost of labor and equipment and overheads, and that, if you remember, that 3 or 4 tabs on it. So and your savings to me will be somewhere between $3,000 a month and $5,000. That's a wide range, but that's kind of the best I can do because I don't know particular lights that you want to choose yet.
So the 3 that we're looking at are 150s, 115s, and 60s. Am I correct in that? Those are the 3 that we have.
Those are the 3 predominant lights. The lights around that bypass may wind up being something more like a 218 or 20 watt.
The ones that are up now in the pilot program that we have observed.
Yes, those are the 3.
150, 115, and 60. The price difference per light in each of those, I guess, would help me. Do you know cost-wise?
Now I've got it on this. I'll get this plugged in.
Yeah. Bridget, can you plug in?
Refresh my memory.
For example, which fixtures is on Hillcrest versus which fixtures is on Woodland?
Curtis has got that info.
Yeah, I've got it.
Okay, and so therefore then we can plug in the price for each of those and we'll
Yeah.
know.
So what I have got in my notes, and I think I emailed them to you.
Bring it up.
So if I can read my own notes here, but the light, see the light behind the blue light and the code signs turned off. We turned that off. Across the street is a LED 115 directly in front of the Huddle House. The light in front of the Light Church at 1634 Cookville Highway is 150 LED. Woodland Street, close to resident 113B, is the start of the 115 LED and runs on Woodland to the address of 210 Woodland. That's a 115. Just past 210 Woodland, approximately 10 foot, starts at the LED 60.
Okay. Now, if you don't care to orient me on that, like Charles Maynard's driveway, would those be the?
Okay, let me see here.
Or the ones that go down?
So just past 210 Woodland, approximately 10 foot starts to 60 LED. That would be in front of Mr. Maynard's house.
So going towards Hillcrest.
That's right.
Is the 60, but then going on down Woodland towards, Bob's Pedals,
That's right.
or whatever it is.
That's right.
Is the one.
115.
Okay, then what's going up and down Hill?
So going up Hillcrest, South Hillcrest, that's off Bridgetown Highway, first one on the
I
left,
can
all
see
the
it.
way to the dead end of the street. These are all 150 LEDs.
150, so as soon as it gives you these prices.
Somewhat, yeah. Okay,
Do you have the clicker for him?
the 60-watt LED, is $197.50. The roadway 115 is $222.30. And this floodlight, we can't use that floodlight, $698, but that is comparable to the cost of the light that we may have to, TDOT may require us to choose for this bypass. It won't be any higher than that. Now, if it's a floodlight, we can't use that for a roadway.
Is one of those.
What was the
up now?
150?
150 was 222.
I thought that was.
No.
I don't see the 150 up there.
I don't see it up there. We'll have to get another spreadsheet. It's gonna be comparable to
So, but all the ones up and down Hillcrest Drive.
260 or 70, I can't remember. I
So all the ones up and down Hillcrest Drive are the 150s, and they're 270. And the ones around my Charles Raiders are 197.
Yes, and the ones going on down for both those lights.
But it's really it's the energy cost on the monthlies really are, that's worse, for real savings.
Yeah. Hey, Ben, so I just wanna make sure we're on the same page. From what we have got started in, the highest LED that we have the pilot program for is the 150.
Correct.
So are we saying that that 150 would work on the bypass, or are we saying that there will be a higher LED light for the bypass?
More than likely, that depends on TDOT, I believe, that, Mr. Gregory.
Okay,
That's what TDOT's stepping in.
150 is $420.
How much?
420.
Oh, wow. For the 150?
$420. That's just the head.
So that,
It's not a complete package.
but that's twice, so then the fixture that I said I like, which is the one on Hillcrest Drive, is
Yeah.
twice as much? That fixture going up and down Hillcrest is $420,
That's correct.
and the ones going around Woodland is only $197?
That's correct. They're the 60s.
Or having the 115s are only 222s, it's still almost double.
Well, no wonder we all like the 150 then, on Hillcrest Drive.
It
'cause
looks
they
good.
They look great, you
It
know,
looks
it's
good.
$420.
That's been the problem with these wholesale changeouts of LED lighting systems now for 10 or 15 years. Except that $420 light, 7 or 8 years ago, was $800. Now where it goes from here, I don't know. It's gotten to the point now that your investment cost goes up, but the energy savings offsets that till you have a net decrease in cost, even based on the $420 light, just like I presented.
Right. But is the energy savings cost greater on the higher wattage?
Right.
That doesn't make.
Well, that watt is rated, that light is rated at 150 watts. We're gonna use it to replace that light that's rated at 250 watts or 400 watts, plus those high pressure sodium lights. That 250 watt bulb is not total energy. It has a ballast in there, a transformer, and adds about 10 watts to that. So, but the LED, the wattage of the fixture is what you got.
I hear what you're saying. My question though was, if you're here today and you go to the 150 and it's cheaper, going to the 115 would even be cheaper in consumption as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's
So-
cheaper.
It does, so therefore, the lower the wattage, the less operating costs on a monthly basis. Right, that is the same, it's incandescent.
The lower the wattage, the greater the kilowatt hour savings per month.
Okay, so how many 150s then in your scenario did you anticipate the city of Livingston needing? Where, I didn't.
It's hard to say
Oh, I
from
see,
here.
it's, you got 500
In that scenario, there's
36.
536, but that's the 150 scenario versus the 115. The other spreadsheet I had up, those 536 lights, we were replacing them with 115s. And your savings is listed down at the bottom based on each of those scenarios. So this scenario here,
Oh, so this is a different scenario.
you can scroll it down or up. No, the other way. I'm sorry.
61,000.
That covers the
Yeah,
left.
but
No, just go, it would go on further down.
Does that show it in here?
Yes.
This is current fixture.
That's, alright. This is a 150 watt option. It's replacing the predominant light, which is a 250 watt street light. It's the 536. And your savings are, annual savings are $32,850. If we go back to the 115, your annual savings go up to around 49,000. I don't know exactly. That's the difference. That is an estimate, Jim.
Sure. Am I correct in thinking that the 536 number that you're using are the, more of the main thoroughfare lights, not the rest,
That's,
primarily?
that's, I don't know the exact layout of the street lights.
And that's the direction I would like to see us go, is the 150s on like Main and Broad and Church and things of that nature, but in the
I think
neighborhood,
that's the right.
115s.
I think that's exactly what you
Okay.
should do. Right. Main thoroughfare through town and
Yes.
the 150s. And we've discovered, I can't remember, go back to my little machine. We found out that we can order these LEDs in the roadway class that we like, or that you prefer, and it's no difference in the cost, just it's the way they insert the little diodes in that line. It makes it a class 2 roadway or a class 3. Class 3 has a, if you remember, a 20-degree side to side. In other words, it's wider. Well, the class 2 is 40 degrees. It's meant to shine that light on a longer or wider roadway. But I think you'll prefer the one that has the more side
Yes.
pattern.
So in summary then, I think the reason that a couple of us really liked the effect that we're getting on the Hillcrest Drive street is because that is a much higher wattage
Sure.
fixture, twice the price, more light. So it obviously is.
It's lit up. I think the difference is, and I think I'd like for the council to consider, is the 60 LED versus the 115 LED worth the price differential. Because they're close. That's,
To me, they're close enough. I would go with the 115s. I would only do 115s and 150s throughout the day and not do any 60s as close as they are
Right.
price, but that's just fine.
And just use the 150s on the main thoroughfares and the other ones in the neighborhoods.
and I know that you're gonna have, TDOT is gonna have to, but it's not gonna be anything smaller than a 150 LED on the bypass, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. I mean, worst case scenario, we're gonna put 150s in on the bypass. Worst case scenario.
I plugged in an existing light that we have. It's an LED flood, a 218 watt light, just for price comparison. And I think the fixture that we choose will actually be cheaper than that, and that's $698. There's 98 of those. So your savings should only go up.
Yeah.
I did that just to kind of, so I would be in the ballpark. The light that we think we might choose for that bypass is called a Mongoose. It's an acuity lighting product. It's made on it's meant to shine in a, now it's better because it has a 0 to 40 degree tilt. When they first came out with them, they had some problems, but it only had a 0 to 20 degree tilt. Now it allows us to tilt that light more in the manner that we need to.
Is that Mongoose similar to the ones that just installed on that 52?
I would assume it's probably going to be similar to that. Those are very bright lights. I don't even know the wattage. There was a contractor in TDOT installed Chapter 86 move, and big controversy over that, but that's what we wound up with.
Okay, did you bring a resolution with you or anything, Jimmy?
No, I would ask the city of Livingston provide UCEMC with a letter from the mayor advising me of the council's decision and vote and their wishes whether to move forward with the project or to council and forget about it.
Okay.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we do a letter to move forward and that we do all 115s or 150s on main thoroughfares and then the residential, excluding the bypass, which will be done at a later discretion as with TDOT.
I'll second that.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Motion made by Alderman Ken Dotson. There's been a second by Alderman Kelly Coleman. Is there any discussion? The motion to put the 150s in the main thoroughfare and the 115s in the residential areas. That's the motion that was made. This would be authorizing me to write a letter and send it to Mr. Gregory on behalf of the council on our wishes. That's the motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call vote, Ms. Phillips.
Alderman Speck,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Winningham,
Yes.
Alderman Coleman,
Yes.
Alderman Dodson,
Yes.
motion passed.
Motion passed. So we will get you that letter. And what is your approximately timeline for getting the letter to you this week? But what would be the timeline to have all installed and up and running?
Depends on Mr. Whittingham's workload. We have a primary purpose is to provide service, additional service line extensions to the members. Members needing new service, so depending on Ben's workload, we plan to expedite it as soon as possible. Whether during the winter time would be a perfect time for this project. We now have some service crews. We've made some service crews out of the line crew, and it's a good project for them. But so as his work permits, it took far less time to install 560 line stair cartridges than I thought. Took about a month and a half. You got about 3 times that many.
So we're looking at 90 days, 120 days, 34 months.
I can't guarantee even in 6 months, but probably between 6 months and a year, we should have this project completed.
Okay, can someone provide us a monthly report on where we are and progress report?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. That's
Ben
good.
will do that.
Okay.
Outstanding.
Council, is there any further questions for Mr. Gregory or? Okay, need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman Ken Dodson, second Kelly Coleman. All for the motion, let know saying aye. All opposed, like sign, we're adjourned.